Games Workshop dropped a small bombshell at the end of their Sisters of Battle review, with quite a significant rule change that might have some big implication for assault armies. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, the strategy focused 40k channel, where we're all about getting the most out of our miniatures on the tabletop. We've been covering the 9th edition news as it comes out here, and today we're just going to talk about one sneaky little change that Games Workshop has mentioned in a footnote of the Sisters of Battle article. In said footnote, they've mentioned that in the new edition, your charge roll has to be sufficient to reach all the units you have declared as a charge against, otherwise your charge is unsuccessful and no models are moved. In general, in the game as it stands at the moment, multi-charging units is a pretty decent tactic, particularly if you've got a large spread out unit such as Orc Boys, or something that's just ludicrously dangerous in close combat such as Genestealer Cult Aberrants or Blood Angels Death Company. They really want to be trying to hammer through multiple units a turn in the assault phase. At least as it stands, you can't attack any units that you haven't declared as targets for charges, and you also can't move within 1 inch of them when you get to the assault. So by declaring multi-charges and declaring charges on anything that can't overwatch in a very bad way, you allow more units to be engaged, and say if you could roll a fairly short charge roll, then it means that you can engage the unit that's just within range, even if it's not the most optimal target. Finally, it can also be good for big units that can fight again such as Orcs, Genestealer Cults or Blood Angels, as having already piled in and consolidated might get you towards that next unit after you've destroyed the first one, and then using a fighting again stratagem can allow you to finish off the next unit as well, something that you wouldn't have been able to do if you hadn't multi-charged them. I do admit that we haven't seen the full rules yet. They might have changed the way that the assault phase works in other ways as well, but if nothing else had changed, then this is looking like a small nerf to assault armies, though we'll take it in the context of a lot of the changes seeming to buff assault in this edition, including smaller table size, pretty much no overwatch aside from select units, things like strategic reserves allowing you to get closer, and a few other bits and bobs. It does sound like multi-charges where you're pretty much guaranteed to make contact with all the units might actually be a fair bit more viable, thanks to the majority of armies only being able to overwatch once per phase with that stratagem. I think that this will have a big impact on deep strike charging, wherever you bring a unit in greater than 9 inches away from the opponent, as it makes you really not want to declare charges on things that are just behind the enemy units that you've just brought them in next to. Anything that's greater than 9 inches away is going to drastically diminish the chances of making that charge. In more normal circumstances, it is really going to have to make you think about whether or not you want to multi-charge units. Each enemy unit that you nominate that's a little bit further away than the first will increase the risk that you get absolutely no damage out of your charge whatsoever. Even a relatively small increase in that chance is actually really quite a big deal. Sometimes it might be better to just almost guaranteed have your Death Company rip apart a nearby unit, rather than gambling on them getting to a unit that's far farther away. On the defender's side, I think that this is going to make multiple small units just a little bit more powerful than big ones, which also seems to be the way that it's gone with blast weapons as well at the moment. Say if you have 2 units that are only something like 5 strong next to each other, then you might struggle to make it to the second one, or you might not want to nominate the second one as the target of a charge at all, just in case you don't make it. Comparatively, if they were all just in one big unit, you could just nominate that target of a charge, and not put yourself at any additional risk. To be honest, I can see cinematically why they might do this. It did feel a bit weird when you declare charges on multiple units, where you knew that you wouldn't actually be able to reach all of them, but you just wanted other options, so it certainly makes a bit more of a sense from declaring a charge point of view. But I think that this rule does kind of go hand in hand with the generally reduced Overwatch theme, because without Overwatch there isn't any real incentive to you not just declaring every single unit in your range as a charge target. That was something that I always used to do whenever I had my Blood Angels Smash Captain with the relic that ignores Overwatch. Basically, seeing as you don't get any additional penalties for not declaring everyone as a target of your charge, you may as well just do it every single time you do charge. So he's got maximal options, he doesn't take any Overwatch anyway, and then you can just pick and choose wherever he goes after you've rolled your distance. If they hadn't made this change, then I suspect that would be what every single unit in every charge phase would be doing. Sure, you might take Overwatch somewhere if your opponent wants to fork out a command point for it, but beyond that you just get maximal charge potential. So I'd consider that and the Overwatch change pretty much hand in hand, as I suspect that you probably wouldn't get the one without the other. In any case, I think that this is in general a bit of a cinematic win for the game in terms of charging only units that you actually want to charge, but whether or not it actually turns out to be the best thing for game balance, I guess we'll see. In general, Assault seems to have got quite a lot of buffs so far in the previews, so it seems there's a bit of give and take. We don't know the full rules yet for this, there could be other changes to the charge phase, and of course all the points in the game are going to be changing as well, hopefully making melee units more balanced with their shooting counterparts. So let me know what you think of the new charging rules. In general, I'm not massively against them, though maybe just a little bit concerned about how it might punish big units like Death Company or Orcs, who I could reasonably imagine hoovering up a ton of smaller units all in one go. They might just find it a little bit harder to do that than before. If you've enjoyed the video, then feel free to subscribe to Auspex Tactics. We'll have plenty more coverage of 9th edition rules as they come out. And if you've been enjoying the content recently, I'd just like to mention the Auspex Tactics Patreon page. The link is down in the description below, and it is what allows me to spend all this time making YouTube videos. When 9th edition comes out, I'm hoping to give away 3 boxes of Indomitus, chosen at random out of the Patreons, with each $1 contributed giving you 1 ticket in the draw. If you'd like to be part of that, or just to help support the channel, then the Patreon link is down in the description below, and a big thank you to my current Patrons for allowing this channel to get where it's got to today. In any case, a big thank you for listening, and I hope to see you guys next time.